All right. Let me try to get this set up. All right. Some of it may be cut off. We'll see. All right. It looks okay. All right. All right. First of all, I want to say, if you guys hear any barking, we don't own a dog per se, but my grandparents are having constantly bringing theirs over here. So yeah, I just want to let you know why if you guys hear barking. I'll get more into that in a bit. But first, I do have an announcement to make. You're probably also wondering why I'm starting over again. Even after I kept telling myself, okay, never again, never again. Well, I decided it would be best for me to delete and recreate my Switch and Nintendo account. Ashton, you know about this. Purple Ethan, I think you may know about this too, but I want to fill Green Ethan in case he didn't see the message video I posted a few days ago. But yeah, I did delete my old accounts that I had, and I remade it, and I linked another Nintendo account because I didn't have the password, because the email that I had to my old one, like, it was not a valid email anymore. Like, I no longer had access to that email, and I tried to put in the password, put in a password that I would know, that I would remember, but like it kept telling me incorrect password. And the thing is, I don't even remember what my email was, because like it, when you go and access your Nintendo account information, it censors it. So yeah, I don't even remember my email nor my password, but I had that since 2017, and like my old Switch account since like 2017, and I think I linked a Google email to it. And then I deleted the Google plus YouTube account because they're now like integrated together. So yeah, I think it was an email that got deleted anyway. Not only do I not remember it, but it might have gotten deleted, like I said, no longer accessible. So, and I couldn't even renew my Nintendo Online subscriptions anymore. Like, I tried doing it, like, back in, like, I don't know, just probably in March, because that's when it would, like, expire on my old account. So, I might have tried it then, or maybe back in May, but, like, I think it was it was just sometime a little bit earlier this year. Like, I tried to renew my Nintendo Online subscription because it expired, but I couldn't because it kept telling me to put in a password, but I didn't remember it. So yeah, I was screwed. I couldn't do anything. I mean, I could still play games offline, but like, I mean, but if you want the full experience, unfortunately, like, you gotta have a Nintendo Online subscription, or Nintendo subscription online, Nintendo Online subscription, whatever you want to call it. So I was just laying in my bed like one morning and just thinking about it, and I was just like, you know what? It's gonna be hard, but I think I need to just delete my old Switch account and recreate it. So that's what I did. This was a couple. Wait, okay. But yeah, this was like maybe a couple of weeks ago or so. I think it was June 15th when I decided this. And what's the date? I think the date is June 29th. So yeah. Or June 14th is when I decided. I believe, because I believe it was a Friday, and my birthday was June 9th, and I decided on like a Friday, so 5 days after. So yeah, I think it was June 14th, and I think and today and then 2 days the 29th, I believe. So yeah, it was about a little over 2 weeks ago when this all happened. Okay, I'm not gonna change all of these, but I am gonna put boyfriend and girlfriend as the lovey-dovey couple. Boyfriend and girlfriend from Friday Night Funkin'. I already received them. I think I just need to select them from my data. Yeah, Ashton, I hope you don't mind, but I did grab some of your me's. I just grabbed you, comma, the two Ethans, comma, and some canon characters, comma, Azure and Icy. I didn't grab any of your OCs, just you guys and some canon characters. Alright, select. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a hard decision to make, because like I knew I had to like rebuy the DLC to Animal Crossing, and rebuy Miitopia. But since I had quite a bit of money set aside from my birthday and even from Christmas, I decided to just go through with it. But all in all, I'm really happy with my decision, because it was a bit stressful not having a proper Nintendo account. It feels good finally having access to one that I remember that I haven't that I have an email address that is both accessible and that I remember. Same with my password. I can remember my password now, so even though it was a bit hard having to spend a bunch of money to rebuy some games and whatnot, like I think it was the best decision. But yeah, that's basically why I had to I'm redoing this. Because I have to start over, but I didn't want to completely cancel my Miitopia, so I'm just redoing it. Yeah, I think this is a good camera angle. Good. But yeah, like I said, Green Ethan, I did post a message on my like a few days ago or so, letting you know about having to start over Miitopia. I don't know if you've seen it, but in case you didn't, yeah, there's the exclamation. I had to recreate my Switch account. I know I said I would hopefully not have to start over again, but this was a different situation compared to the one in 2022. But yeah, luckily I have a proper Switch and Nintendo account now. I'm actually, I do feel happy about my decision, and I'm actually pretty relieved about doing this. Plus, I couldn't even renew my subscription anymore, so I felt stuck. Like I said, you can still play games. You can still play like games. You just can't do any online stuff, which can take away from a lot of the experience. So yeah, I'm gonna make Plankton the Dark Lord, because why the fuck not? I think I'm just gonna call this a redo, because I already have my regular Miitopia Let's Play, so I don't want to completely make the titles the same. So I'll probably just say redo of Miitopia #1, something like that is what I'll title the video. Anyway, yeah, I think it's been a couple of months since I did a premiere episode anyway, because Ethan said he was busy and he knew he was probably not going to be available. And not only that, but he has to be, I'm talking about Green Ethan, by the way, just in case there's confusion. But yeah, like, he told me that he was going to be busy, so he wasn't sure if he was going to be available for the foreseeable future. Plus, he has to be very cautious. That way his mom doesn't get upset with him if he finds out about watching videos at like the wrong time or whatever. He did comment on one of Purple Ethan's videos not too long ago. I think it was just a few days ago, letting saying how he misses us, and which we miss you too, Green Ethan. I can't wait until you're able to come back to Discord with us. And how he was off for the summer. He's gonna it's currently summer break for him. So yeah, I'm just doing this one without him without him letting me know beforehand, because #1, there's a lot I want to talk about. This past month and a half has been up and down for me, and I just kind of want to vent about it and just talk about it, because it's therapeutic. There's just something about playing this game while just talking about the things that are on my mind. Like, I don't know, there's just something about it. So yeah, Green Ethan, I know your chances of being able to come in here are slim to none, but I wanted to just do this for that reason, and to let you know that I had to restart in case you missed my message that I posted before this. But yeah. Like I said, these past couple of months, I'd say, have been a bit up and down for me. Not all, like, don't get me, I mean, don't worry, like, it's not all bad. There's some good stuff too, but I've just been feeling really stressed out about something. Of course. Plus, like, I like to film these, like, at night. That way, you guys don't see the sun, like, behind the TV. I mean, because my window is behind it. It's still better than the window being on the opposite wall, but it can still be a bit distracting. So I like recording these at night. I might just premiere this tonight as well. It's a Saturday night, it's summer. So hopefully no one has work or school. Ashton's off for summer vacation. Green Ethan, you're off for summer vacation. And Purple Ethan, like, I think he's off on the weekends. He graduated back in 2020 from high school, but he does have, like, a thing that he has to go to during the week. Plus, his mom started taking away his phone again at 10 p.m. from Monday through Friday, but he should be able to have it, Saturday nights at least, where it's neither a work or school day nor a work or school night. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna premiere this tonight because, like, that's another thing that I like to do. It also feels good just watching these videos, because even if it's just myself talking, like, I don't know, it's just fun to listen to and just be like, yup, that is correct, that is the case, all right. It's hard to explain, but it's something like it's like that. I still love, and I don't know, I just love going back and watching these. It's just nice. I do have some good news. I'll share some of the good stuff first. Some good stuff that's been happening for the past couple of months. Like, I think back in May, I believe my dad told me that the guardianship lawyer that he had for me was in the final process of, like, going through my paperwork or whatever. We still don't know when exactly I'm gonna have an appointment, but I think my dad is gonna maybe talk to them soon. Plus, he wanted to get my brother's stuff done first because my brother had stuff that he needed, that he needed to get done for him as well. Which yesterday, like, my brother finally got his bank account. And then, like, I think he'll have, like, a card or something coming in the mail in the next week or so. Then hopefully, not too long after that, oh, car alarm. Not too long after that, it should be time for my guardianship appointment, or at least for the appointment to get set up. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna be a pop star. Why not? I like the encore. The encore is very useful because you can give the you can have someone who's more powerful you can give them that turn. Yeah. The pop star is not really the best when it comes to, like, attacking, but there's a lot. It does have a lot of, like, sorry, I was wondering what my brother was talking about, but whatever. Ugh. But yeah, pop stars may not have the best attack, but they can do a lot of, like, other stuff, like give other people a turn. They can stop quarrels. They can restore stamina. I'm not 100% sure if they can restore MP, but I know they can restore HP. And I think they can also, like, distract enemies. So, yeah. And then on June 9th, I had my birthday. I had a really good birthday. I played Animal Crossing. I went to the store with my dad to get some birthday stuff and some birthday money. And we had Five Guys for lunch. So it was a really good day. Probably my favorite day out of 2024 so far. Yeah, so far my favorite days of 2024 is February 14th, March 6th, and my birthday, June 9th. February 14th, I just love Valentine's Day. And I also played Animal Crossing on that day. And then March 6th was very fun because Papa's Paleteria, however you want to call it, released. And not only that, but my brother got us Popeyes for lunch. So yeah, those were pretty good days. And then on May 11th and May 12th are honorable mentions because on May 11th, my brother graduated with his bachelor's degree in business and marketing, and he's going to continue to go for his master's degree, but he got his bachelor's degree back in May. And it was just it was just a fun, a nice, rememberable day. There was interesting music playing while we were waiting for the ceremony to start. There was this one song I don't know what it's called because it's not really like a song with lyrics. It's just music, but it's just really cheerful and it kind of goes something like this. I'm not good at mimicking noises, but like it was just really upbeat. And then like I was kind of dancing to it, and then my dad was getting so confused. He was like, "What are you getting so excited for?" It was funny. And like the power went out a few times because like it was a bit rainy. And then after the ceremony, we got Sonic. Well, I got Sonic. I'm trying to remember. I think my brother might have gotten like Chick-fil-A or something, and I got Sonic, and it was so good. I don't really eat Sonic very often anymore because like the service at, you know, at the one in my local town can be a bit mid or subpar, but I decided to get Sonic because like my dad usually has me decide between Sonic and Wendy's when we go out for food because they're really convenient for him. And usually I get Wendy's. Plus my brother orders it on DoorDash on a lot of Fridays. In fact, he ordered it this past Wednesday. So I decided to switch it up and get Sonic this time. And I am so glad I did because like I tried their double hamburger and they had like these new kinds of fries, and oh my god, it was so good. So yeah, that was interesting watching my brother graduate, and now he has his bank account, and now we're just waiting on like I think it's a debit card for him to come in the mail, and then hopefully we should start focusing on my guardianship stuff. And then May 12th was Mother's Day, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Like, I've I've never uh I've never really okay. I don't know how to put this. I don't really know how to put this exactly, but I mean, like, I get the point of Mother's Day, but I mean, it just never really appealed to me. Like as a child, I mean, I would like wish my mom, Happy Mother's Day, but and I get it. We want to like appreciate our parents for the things they do for us, but I used to feel left out on Mother's Day. Plus, I have a complicated relationship with my mom, so it's just one of those holidays or just whatever you want to call it that like I've always been skeptical about. But then starting last year, I started to absolutely love it, and I'm gonna just leave these. Thanks to my friend and online son, Ashton. He gives me a reason to fucking love Mother's Day. He drew a really wholesome picture last year, and he drew one again this year. Hell, even Eli, like, he actually did some Mother's Day gifts for Ashton and I. with our mother son, like with his favorite mother son OCs from us, he did he did a couple of pictures of Ashton and I. He did a drawing of Orkia and Icy, which are based off of Ashton and I. He also did Zane and Yosfa. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but he did Ashton's OCs, Zane and Yosfa. Ugh. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name, but you know who I'm talking about. Because Yosfa is based on me, and Zane, along with Kazuki, is based on Ashton. So, those 2 days were, a really, two really good back-to-back days. But in April 30th, that's probably my least favorite, my most hated day of 2024 so far. I mean, I've had worse days, don't get me wrong, but it's probably been the worst one of 2024 so far. And it's kind of the start of, how I said earlier how things were up and down for me and how I was feeling stressed out for the past couple of months or so. Well, April 30th was like the start of it. Ashton, you know the situation. Purple Ethan, I think you know the situation. Green Ethan, and just because, it's nice to actually voice this stuff, I'm gonna talk about it again here. So, on April 30th, okay, Purple Ethan, you're next. Then it will be, I guess, I'm not sure, probably Moose, I'm not sure. Then I'll get Orkia in here, because they're gonna be my main four. Me, Purple Ethan, Orkia, and Manton. But don't worry, I mean Green Ethan and Manton, sorry. But Purple Ethan and Ashton, don't worry, you guys will still appear in my first 10. But yeah, something, unfortunately, April 10th just kind of changed. I mean not April 30th. I apologize if I sound dramatic, but it just changed. It just changed some stuff for me, but not for the better either. Okay, Purple Ethan, I'm trying to find you. It says Ethan and Ethan. I forgot to. I'm gonna edit their names to differentiate them. I just forgot to. I'll probably do it off screen or something. You'll be a chef, Purple Ethan. I hope that's okay. Ashton, I think I'm gonna wait until the 3rd chapter to include you, and you're gonna be a Cautious tank. But yeah, what had happened was my dad informed me that Zach was going to come over for 3 weeks. Zach is my grandparents' dog, and guys, I'm just uncomfortable around dogs. And, you know, given that my dad is a massive dog lover, like, he just does not get that. Like, he just struggles to see things from my perspective. But, like, it goes deeper than that. Like, he started to just lecture me on stuff. He claims that I wasn't grateful, which I am. I don't know where that logic even came from. Just because I don't want to deal with an annoying ass dog for 3 weeks, that does not necessarily mean I'm not grateful for what he does for me. So then he starts complaining about how he does all this stuff, and how families should feel obligated to do stuff for each other, yada 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 yada. You know, that's another. I don't want to fly too far off the tangent, but you know, I feel like my dad can, like, I'm not saying he's toxic in general, but I feel like he can be a bit toxically family oriented. And what I mean by that is, like, he believes people should have to feel obligated to do stuff just because they're family. And how, you know, he thinks family should be forgiven. Like, I don't really, that might not be a really good term, you know, toxically family oriented, but I don't know. He just has some beliefs regarding family, just family related stuff that I don't agree with. Believing people should be forced to do certain stuff, feeling obligated to do crap, and just, like, you know, believing that people should have to forgive their family members just because they're blood. And you guys couldn't see, but I did the air quotes with my fingers. Oh, let's see. Yes. Good job, Purple Ethan. And don't worry, Purple Ethan and Ashton, I may eventually make a file where us four are the main four, you know, me, Purple Ethan, Green Ethan, and Ashton. I just want to see Ashton make a new file whenever he can, where I'm one of the main four. Don't worry, Ashton, I'm not rushing you. I'm just saying, sometime in the future. Oh boy. But yeah, my dad on April 30th, my dad basically got mad at me because I was frustrated about my grandparents' dog coming over here for 3 weeks while my grandparents were on a cruise. And at first I thought it was irresponsible of them to leave their dog that has separation anxiety behind for 3 straight weeks. But a few days ago, my dad told me that like it was a family thing and they didn't even really want to go, but apparently they had family members that were on the cruise. So I'm more understanding of it now, because like it was more of an obligation than just them planning it for just like for the hell of it, you know what I mean? So yeah, but like I said, my dad made it out to be more serious than it was. Like, he was being, like, I'm sorry, but he was just being really insensitive that day, like, and maybe even borderline ignorant. Because that's another thing, too, is, like, he gripes at me because I have a hard time, look, guys, I have a hard time tolerating inconvenience. And, you know, my dad gripes at me for it, but I just can't help it. It's just how I am. And guys, I'm not saying my dad's not necessarily a bad guy, you know. He's a really, you know, he's a good guy deep down. He can be really funny, laid back, chill, and all around just a good guy. But, you know, he's just ignorant when it comes to people on the autistic spectrum and, you know, people with ADHD. Because, you know, I've talked about this with you guys before. I am on the spectrum, and the chances and like it's very probable that I have ADHD as well, possibly ADHD combined, meaning both inattentive and hyperactive symptoms. But yeah, don't worry. Like I said, my dad is by absolutely no means a bad guy. Like, he just lacks knowledge and consideration for me at times. I would try to explain myself to him, but I feel like he'll think, like, I fear that he'll think I'm just using excuses when I'm not, like, when it's not like that. So, oh, are you freaking serious? Okay, well, I have Encore unlocked. I shouldn't even really be fucking around and doing basic attacks. Here, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But yeah, as I was saying, my dad just, I don't know, he just lacks knowledge and consideration when it comes to my struggles with being on the spectrum and having ADHD. And I feel like it, thankfully, he's never really said anything out loud, but I do feel like it's even harder when you're an adult because people expect you to get over your symptoms when that's not always the case, you know. You know, adults and ADHD and autism spectrum disorder is not just something that affects kids, you know. They can be lifelong conditions and you can have lifelong symptoms and struggles. It's not just a children's thing. It's a lifelong thing. But yeah, and I would try to explain to my dad, but I fear that he's just gonna think I'm using excuses, so that's why I haven't really bothered to do so. And he also told me that I was a part of the reason that my mom bailed out on us for back in 2019. Now, I've always been skeptical of my mom, you know. She's not the easiest person to get along with sometimes, and she herself is extremely ignorant and insensitive when it comes to my conditions. But this just made things worse. I mean, my mom does have her good aspects, and we do have our good moments together. But yeah, that was definitely a stab in the heart to find that out. So yeah, that was a pretty subpar day. Oh God. Yeah. This is gonna be a close one. Okay, good. Thank you. Please, just die already. Die. Die, 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 die. Oh. Whew. Okay, good. Good. Probably not the best 2 jobs to start with, but I wasn't sure which order to go in. I only have of some some of that plan, some of the order planned out. But okay, it's over now. But yeah, I mean, the day was decent until the afternoon, but yeah. But then he came over for 3 weeks, and like they just keep bringing him back over. It wasn't just a one-time thing. You know, my grandparents go out a lot. A lot. And I guess, like, you know them finding, like, I guess they just, I don't know. I did hear about, like, and like I'm like, and it's not only frustrating but confusing too, because up until May 2nd, they didn't have to bring that darn thing over here, but they just started doing it ever since May 2nd, when they went on their cruise. And then, like, I heard something about them bringing Zach, Zach's the name of the dog, bringing Zach with them on their current trip, but I guess that didn't exactly pan out. I don't know, like, but I mean, my hopes are low, but deep down, I'm hoping they can find some other dog sitters so they don't have to keep relying on us to deal with the rigmarole. I mean, my dad and my brother are okay with it because they love dogs, but it's just hard for me to function with him around, with the dog around. Like, I try to go into the kitchen to fix myself something to eat, but like, he's in the way, and then, like, I have to worry about keeping my door closed, and or at least, like, cracked. Otherwise, he could get in, he could piss or shit on the carpet, or he could, like, mess something up. He doesn't bite, at least, I will give him that. And I don't mind him barking unless I'm, like, trying to sleep, but him just wandering around, being in the way, getting into stuff, like, it's frustrating. And he did get into my room a few times. Not not this current time, but back in May or June. Nah. And like, it sucks too because like, I'm always worried if I leave, like, you know, it. I'm a I'm a bit OCD in a way because like I have to constantly check to make sure my door is still like cracked and that he didn't get into my room. And like when I'm like away from my room, like if I'm like in the bathroom doing something, or if I'm like in the kitchen fixing myself some food, or getting something to drink, like I don't know, like I'm not saying I have OCD, but I do have a lot of OCD behavior, and it is very frustrating to deal with. All right, who's next? Oh yeah, I think I said Moose, didn't I? Yeah, because we need a strong physical attacker, and then we need a cleric. So we'll Moose is next, and then Orkia, because I like to put the each chapter, the main team of each chapter. I want them to be the last one to join, because that way they'll be the first one to that we rescue. It's just how this game works. The Cold Warrior. Perfect. Perfecto. But yeah, my grandparents are the most anti-homebody people I know. Like, they always have to be out, they're constantly taking trips, like, and and I I just don't think it's a good idea to do so if you have a dog. Like, the way I see it, there are different options. Option A, not not have a dog. Option B, only go on trips if you absolutely have to. And if you want to see family, they can just come to this town and they can visit you, and they can come visit you. Or option C, find other babysitters to rely on and don't just drop him off over here. But no, they go with option D. Well, option D is for only one of them to go out, and then the other one, one of my grandparents, unless they both have to go. But sometimes, just I don't want. There's times where just my grandma can just go and like my grandpa can just stay home with the dog, but she has to drag him on. Mm. But yeah, I don't know, but but no, they go with I think the fifth option, option E, like option 5, option V. They they bring him over here, but I hope they can find other pet sitters because I am fed up. You know, this is why I'm so I can't wait to get my stuff done. That way I can get my guardianship done, I can get an ID, I can get a bank account done. I can really start to focus on my books because because I do want to one of the two topics I want to write about are autism and ADHD. I actually want to cover just the whole umbrella of neuro. I want to talk talk about pretty much, the whole umbrella of neurodiversity and mental health because it's something that people are extremely ignorant and insensitive about. Plus, if my books do well and I get a good enough rep, I'm gonna see if I can get my dad to read them. That way, he'll know that my struggles are valid. Because, like I said earlier, I would try communicating with him about that, but I fear that he's just gonna think I'm using my disorders as an excuse when it's not like that. These are serious issues. Like it's a valid. These are valid struggles that relate to autism, for example, or ADHD. Oh, okay. All right. Now, okay. Tank Man is gonna be the serious soldier, and Steve is gonna be the laid back soldier. You know, I figured that was brilliant in my, you know, I think that's brilliant in my opinion. So we're gonna do that. Ashton has Tankman, Steve, and Ted as the power or as the Fab Fairies, but I want to have Tankman as the serious soldier, Steve as the laid back soldier, and the Powerpuff Girls as the Fab Fairies. The oldest one will be Blossom, the youngest one will be Buttercup, and then the middle one will be Bubbles. Yeah. Okay, that's cursed. Let's get out of here. Much better. Much better. I mean, Tankman himself, you know, he can be a little bit silly too, but he can also be serious when need be, whereas Steve is more laid back, lax soldier. And I was called the laid back soldier, not the lax soldier. Oh well. Whatever. I don't even know. I don't need to receive. I already did. I need to just go to select. Lax soldier Steve. And I'm gonna leave I'm gonna leave Louie and Ralph. I don't really know what to put them as. Okay. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I'm just like, I just can't wait to start to get my bank account so I can start really working on my books. Because I think that's going to be the best way to go about, you know, spreading awareness. You know, doing research, you know, seeing what people deal with due to their autism. You know, just really looking into that stuff as well as thinking about my own struggles and then recording all that into my book about autism, or I should say books, because I have one planned for children and for adults. And hopefully they can get a good enough rep and I can get my dad to read them. Because here's the thing, like, you know, I don't want my dad to read them right away. You know, I want to give it some time. Make sure, you know, it gets a good enough, these books get a good reputation and people are like, oh, I can relate to this so well. And, or, you know, yes, I can confirm I relate to a lot of these struggles, you know. I want him to, are you serious? I want him to know that, you know, okay, I don't really know how to word, okay, what's the word I'm looking for, you know? He needs, like, you know, I want him to have proof that my books, you know, that I'm writing actual, factual, and accurate things about autism, you know. He needs to know that these like are these this is some these are valid struggles that people with autism to go through, and that I'm not just writing down a bunch of bullshit excuses. You know what I mean? So, if at all possible, if if my writing endeavors do work out, I'm gonna make sure he I get confirmation from the public before I start passing these books down to family members. But yeah, it's gonna be a while, but I just can't wait till I live on my own. Like, this is some, like, these are other things I talked with you guys about. I would always talk about in these videos. Like, I would always just talk about the future, our ideal futures. I would always talk about our dream jobs. I would always talk about how much I want to get my own place. And oh my god, like, they just have aged like wine because having to deal with the dog a lot, like all the time. Well, not all the time, but like a lot of the times now is making me want to just be in my own place where I can set my own rules and boundaries. I mean, I'm sorry if my boundaries are strict and all, but we all have our own. We all need to set boundaries. It's not like I plan to just cut my family off, but I do think it will be healthy for us to distance ourselves. Well, for me to distance myself from my dad and my brother, because we just we clash a lot. We disagree on a lot of stuff, and I think it's gonna be in all of our best interests for all of us to live on our own. I don't have to worry about clashing with them because I hate the dogs and they love the dogs. I'm not a pet person, guys. I'm not a pet person in general, but if I had to choose if I prefer dogs or cats, I would choose cats. I know Purple, Ethan, and Ashton, they're also cats people 100%. Well, I wouldn't really consider myself a cat person because, like I said, I rather just not worry about having to worry about any pets. But if I had to choose, yes, I do prefer cats over dogs. And Green Ethan, what are your stance on pets? I've always been curious. Are you like me? Are you not a pet person, or are you a cat person like Purple, Ethan, and Ashton? I've always wondered what your stance on pets are, because that's something that has never been talked about between us four with your stance. All right, next one will be, yes, Orkia. Yeah, I didn't bother with her flower crown and her heart cheeks because it's really tedious doing all that. So yeah, she looks really simplistic and plain. Sorry about that. And she's gonna be a cleric. A cleric. yeah, it can be tedious doing all the makeup stuff, so I didn't bother with it. I kind of just half-assed making my mise. I even grabbed some from Ashton to save time. But yeah, I can't freaking wait until I get my own place. You know, I know it comes with a lot of responsibility, but if you think about it, there's also, like, yes, it comes with responsibility and there's stuff you're gonna have to deal with, but at the same time, there's also stuff that you won't have to deal with anymore. Like, my dad always tries to shove the compromise excuse in my face, down my throat. And I won't have to deal with that anymore once I'm living on my own. I can live as I see fit without having to worry about all that rigmarole. But yeah, that's why I said things have been up and down for me these last couple of months. Not necessarily all bad, there's still some good stuff that's been going on, don't worry. But it's just stressful dealing with the dog, my dad being insensitive about it, and just that stuff. Like, he's a massive dog lover. Him and my brother both are. So, they struggle to see things from my perspective. Whew. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna end it off right there. It felt good talking to you guys about all this stuff, and I will. I'm not sure when episode 2 will come. I'm probably gonna be doing these few and far between, so this series will last, and because Green Ethan has to be careful about when he shows up. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Boy.